Thank you, Doreen. Nakwambia ulianza hiyo traffic and you said Ngong Road like a true Luo woman. Ngong. Ngong. Thank you for that. We'll be sure to check in with you before we get to close the program. In case you are just joining us, karibu tena sana. This is Good Morning Kenya. I am Jain Wambui. We want to get into the next part of the program, and this is Women at the Forefront. All about my girldoms, all about empowerment, all about encouraging you by bringing to you women that are doing phenomenal things in the different spaces, professionally speaking, and also looking at their personal lives. And with us today, we have Doctor, engineer. We have Eng.Christine Kibet, who is a biomedical engineer working with a 10-county referral hospital. Good morning.
Good morning, Jain.
Karibu sana, Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for making time to be with us today. We appreciate the time.
Thanks too for this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as I always say, kama una maswali or you have comments or you're just seeking clarification, we welcome you to talk with us. Use the hashtag Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. Our official handle is at KBC Channel 1. My handle is at Jain Wambui. Now, we want to understand, getting to become a biomedical engineer, what it took for you. And this involves going way back, understanding where the journey even started. When we were all growing up, we all have dreams, ambitions. I want to be this, I want to be that. Was a biomedical engineer anywhere in the works for you? Did you even know what that was?
I actually didn't know, Jain.
Yes.
In fact, I remember when I grew up, I wanted to be a lawyer. But when I finished Form 4, I think I didn't manage to get to the law school direct. So I had to stay for some time, and then after that, this chance came now. I was given a letter from the Kenya Medical Training College for medical engineering, and then I didn't even know what it was. And then I had to consult. I consulted one of my cousins who had schooled in abroad, that is in India, and he told me this is one of the courses that were just recently introduced, and they only offer up to the diploma level in Kenya, and the rest will be offered abroad. So when I just heard about that, I said, this is what I'm going to take.
Yes.
So I just went immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how was even the support from your parents looking at this career path that not so many people know about? You don't have any idea about it, but you have decided, this might lead me there. Let me take this. How was the support system around you at that time?
Actually, I can say I was just supported by my parents. Of course, they are not educated. But when I just said, Dad, Mom, this is what I'm going to take, they gave me maximum support.
And they supported all the way?
Yeah, all the way.
And looking at when you even, your time in school, were you able to interact with other female ladies, or rather ladies that are also doing the same course, or it was mostly a male-dominated course?
Yeah, it was male-dominated. I remember in my class we were only three ladies out of 21 in a class of 25. Yeah. And
was being a woman ever used against you looking at that time? It's new, and there are more men than women taking up this course, just three of you. Did you ever face any form of discrimination or, being spoken against just by virtue of being a woman?
I think not Jain. In fact, I remember when I was doing especially the mechanical part of it, we do the metal work.
Yes.
We could cut the metals. That was most challenging a bit, but we could do even better than the male. Yeah.
And whenever we have women and men pitted against each other, and especially looking at the numbers when one dominates the other, innately you find us, or rather, moving to gender roles and saying, isi kazi ya wanawake, ini ya wanaume, isi ya wanaume, ini ya wanawake. Looking at your career so far, has gender roles ever interfered or been used against you whenever you are in your professional field of work?
I can say no, though sometimes, now that we are few, you find that most opportunities are taken by the our male opponents. So what I can say, I haven't faced so much challenge. In fact, I get more favors.
Yes. Yeah. And one would look at this career and feel, this is more of the, for the men, because it involves a lot of the STEM subjects under it. And then we have this narrative where we find so many, when it comes to STEM related courses, you find it is mostly men that are doing it. Why do you think this is so? Is it an attitude problem among the ladies, or an attitude problem among our fellow male counterparts that are discouraging us from taking up some of these STEM related courses?
I think it is the attitude that as ladies we have, because we can, in fact, anything that a man can do, in fact, a woman can do better. That is what I've realized. It is just the attitude. Yes.
And what can be done to just change this attitude? Is it a question of using an opportunity like this with a lady like you who has been there and you have seen the beautiful side of it, or also bringing, and rather how we can bring the male counterparts onto the table to help change the narrative, especially around STEM-related courses?
Yeah, I think that is it, Jane. Some of us that have gone to this male-dominated field, we can come out strongly, encourage our fellow ladies, and tell them we can do better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I was just going through some of, looking at your bio, you also have strong interest when it comes to women representation and empowerment of the women. Now, I want us to talk a bit about representation. Just earlier on with my colleagues, we were looking at the youth dividend and looking at the fact that we are so many, but yet we are underrepresented. And now bringing this conversation to women, is it a question of, we are also very many, but we are underrepresented? So is it a question that we are underrepresented because we don't have the opportunities, or we have the opportunities but we're not showing up to represent ourselves?
Your question is a two-way, Jen.
Yes.
I think before we were not being given opportunities. In fact, like for example, today I stand as I want to become the MP of my constituency. The male will still look at me like not yet ladies, we are not given that opportunity. But we thank God for the 2/3 gender rule. That has really helped us. This opportunity that was given out to all the counties to have their own women rep, it is great. But I think we need to be given opportunity just like men. Yeah.
And where do your interest, even in the political space, stem from?
Yeah, when I was posted in 2011, Jane, I was working in a remote hospital that is in my local village, and I really saw the many challenges that women and girls are going through. I started writing proposals. I tried so many ways of how I could help the community, but I could not get the assistance. And then at some point I said, why not me? If given this opportunity, Jane, I can be able to bring change that I need, the change that these ladies and these women and girls deserve. Yes.
And what are some of those social economic challenges that you have been seeing, and especially looking at your hometown, where you have grown, where you have seen the problems, and even maybe to some extent experienced, and you don't want the younger girls who are there to find in their future? What are some of those issues that you feel you can help address as a woman?
Yeah, the first issue, Jen, is about the poverty levels. Most of our women are still living under the poverty levels, and this is another era. We need to at least uplift these women to help them at least economically, so that they can be able to provide for themselves. We have seen girls, like in my village, I've seen so many girls get discouraged because of how these other these ladies are living, the lives that are living. So these challenges can only be we can only help this through the right leadership. We can help maybe make these ladies to become economically stable.
Yes.
And in that way, at least we can help the many girls to come out. Yeah.
And how can even the family be used to be part of this change that you want to see among the girls? Starting from the household where you are with your mom, your dad, and as a young girl, how can that space be used to help mold you to become this different breed of women that we are hoping for the future?
Okay. A nation is built by small families. If we can help make these strong families build these families in a strong way, Jane, we are building a whole nation. But I remember when I was a young girl, my dad was a farmer. My mom was a farmer too. You know, they never went to school, but they used to work very hard. We rarely missed anything in our lives.
Yes.
But if I see somebody, you know, Jane, who is starving, living below that poverty level, you know, I feel so bad, and I say, no, it is good to make this family strong, make them economically stable, so that we make our nation grow as a whole.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're also living in a time where, in as much as we have progressed, technology, modernization, we are still an African country.
Yes.
And by virtue of that, culture remains something that has a very tight grip on us as a people. And you find some of the challenges that we are facing as women are tied to culture. How can we shake off some of these retrogressive cultures and carry on what is good to empower our women as well?
I think it is through empowerment, Jane. You know, like we can give these motivational talks to this society, and we can come out of that culture. You know, it is possible. I've been running a program of motivation in our area, in Elgeyo Marakwet, and I have seen it is just lack of knowledge. You know, if we can just empower these people with knowledge, we can come out of that culture and we can live a different life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is mentorship something that, you know, has played a role in your life, you know, looking at your career professionally speaking when it comes to the biomedical engineering part, and also given that you have a political interest, is there some form of mentorship that you have undergone, or you have a mentor who helps you along the journey?
I can say yes, I have some mentors, and at the same time it is through God's grace. You know, like I haven't received that real mentorship, but I feel now that because I lacked that, I should actually be in the forefront of mentoring others. Yes.
And how can we, given that you haven't, you know, gotten the form of formal mentorship that you would have desired, how can we then charter a path to create more room for mentorship, and especially looking at the county levels?
Yeah, this is something that has become, it has always been in my heart, Jane, and I feel that it should even be exercised in the whole country. Like now, in our schools, generally, we've experienced so many suicide cases in our schools, our young children committing suicide, and I feel the Ministry of Education should come up with such a program, a mentorship program that should go around all our schools, all our counties, so that we mentor others. You know, a special mentorship program in the Ministry of Education, so that we help others grow in a special way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I like that you've also mentioned just going around schools, and this now brings, looking at the pandemic, we all got to hear of the number of teenage pregnancies that was recorded, and that's just what was recorded. So you can imagine the many others that were not recorded. And by virtue of that, so many girls are denied opportunity to go back to school. You know, what can be done to also just make sure, in as much as a girl becomes a mother at a young age, they're not denied the opportunity to go back and pursue their educational goals?
It is all leaders, Jane, to come out strongly, advise the parents to release their children back to school. Let the mothers hold the babies. You know, it is possible. Give that child another chance, so that she gets her dreams. You know, during that pandemic period, I remember I had to use my resources together with some other leaders. We could go around and then talk to our girls, talk to our boys. In fact, we utilized that period specifically for mentorship. And I thank God so much that the results were good. In Elgeyo Marakwet, we never experienced so many teenage pregnancies, though they were there. We cannot say they were not there. But I'm just appealing to the parents to give them another chance. Let them go back to school.
And for those that, you know, do not have the grace or don't get this, you know, grace from the parents, some are even actually excommunicated, kicked away from the home, go with your child, you know, you are a disgrace to a family. How can they also be taken care of to just make sure that they have a soft landing out there?
I think the administration can be used, like the chiefs, you know, the chiefs can intervene in every sub-location, in every location, because they are the ones that knows every households. And also, that is in my plan. When I'm given an opportunity in 2022, Jain, I was planning, if possible, by God's grace, I'll set up a school specifically for these girls, you know, that have children. You know, they get stigmatized when they go to those other schools. Wanaona kama ni mama, and then if they get their own special school, these girls can get another chance.
They can thrive. And that also takes us to the whole space of the perpetrator, because what was also reported is that most of the cases, when it comes to sexual violence or defilement, the perpetrator was someone who was familiar to these girls. Could be a father, an uncle, a cousin, a brother, for that matter, a stepfather. And you find in some of these cases, the families prefer to sort this out of court. They don't want to go the legal way to take action because italeta aibu kwa familia or atutake maneno mengi, consequently denying this girl justice. What do you make of such situations?
I think in that situation, Jain, it's very unfortunate, and I think the best way to go is to use those local administrators and as ladies to unite. If such case appear, we should not atisema aibu. Let that man face the consequences, because if we continue maybe allowing that, the case will still continue.
But that's something that we have been seeing over and over and over again. Now, also let's talk a bit about economic empowerment, which is something you had touched on a bit earlier, and more so looking at women. You find that we're living in a time there's so many single-parent households, and in most cases it is the mother that is present in that single-parent household. Therefore, you find there's a lot of economic challenges that these ladies get to face. Looking at this particular lot, you know, you have to take care of your children, you have to look for a source of income, you don't have someone to live your children with. How can we create an environment that can accommodate all these groups of women to make sure that we are all thriving together?
Jain, in the affirmative action fund, I think there is that provision that these women can qualify for that fund, and we always encourage them to form groups. And when they form groups, they will write proposals, and in that way, they can be economically empowered. Through that small source of money, they can start their businesses, they can do their farming, and life can be good to them.
Absolutely. Remember, this is Women at the Forefront. This is all about encouraging our women out there, looking at the struggles that we get to experience on a daily, from time immemorial. These are some of the issues that have been there since, and we're here to just try and create solutions to this moving forward, to just make sure that our daughters, the next breed of young women, do not have to experience the same issues that we are going through. And we welcome you to talk with us. Use the hashtag Good Morning Kenya. That is what we're using on Twitter. At KBC Channel 1 is our official station handle, and my handle is at Jain Wambui. Now, looking at even the fact that you are a mother, a wife, you are an employee, you are all these many hats. How do you just strike a balance to ensure that one part of your life is not suffering on the basis of this other part, because you have to show up in all of them?
Of course. Jain, I think we have been given grace by God. As women, we can multitask and we can balance each and every part. Like, I make sure that at the workplace, I'm doing my best. I can also take care of my family well. And in politics, you know, I also find time to do politics. So that ability to multitask, I can tell you, Jain, I'm doing great, and I have not left anything behind.
You know, speaking of politics, we have had so many women come out to say that, you know, when I expressed my interest to run for this and this particular seat or office, people came to me, rather I received a lot of criticism because, one, I'm not married, or I don't have children. So people look at you, or rather look down on you, and don't see the potential in you. For those young women that are aspiring to go for political seats, but they're facing such backlash from the public, what would you tell them today?
I want to tell those ladies, get encouraged, focus on your that vision that you have. Those challenges are there. They will talk, they can say anything, but make sure that you focus on your journey. In fact, I know very well that there is no day that you can stand today and nobody will talk anything against you. So get encouraged, get ready to hear all those sorts of things.
Awesome. Yeah. And also for our male counterparts, we cannot live without them in any space.
Yeah.
How can they also be part of the encouragement, be part of the voice that encourages other women to come to the table? If you're not invited to the table,
yes,
take the table away. So how can also men be part of this conversation?
Yeah, I just want to tell the men, we cannot leave you behind. Of course, help us get empowered, because once we are empowered as ladies, the whole household is empowered and the whole nation is empowered.
Awesome, awesome. Tukimalizia, what would be your parting message to our viewers today, our youngers who are watching us, the youth who are such a huge part of the population that, politicians are waiting to just pounce on, promise, and make all these grand promises to? Okay,
I want to tell our youth.
And also your home county.
Yeah, of course. And let me just say something to all our youth in the country. We are nearing the electioneering period. Don't be used in any manner of bad way to throw stones to any other politician. Politics will come and go, but life will continue. Just do your politics in a good way, and God will always bless you. To my people of Elgeyo Marakwet, I'm just asking you and appealing in a humble way that give me this opportunity to become your women rep this time round. And I'm promising you the change you need, the change you deserve.
The change you need, the change you deserve. Thank you so much, Christine.
Thank you.
We have been speaking with Eng.Christine Kibet Kabon, who is a biomedical engineer working with Iten County Referral Hospital. Thank you so much for making time. We wish you the best in your future endeavors.
I'm very grateful for this opportunity. God bless you so much.
Bless you too. Thank you for making time.
I'm sure next time I'll come here as a women rep Elgeyo Marakwet County.
Usha Semafa.
Yeah.
She has expressed it here on Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you.
So.
Yeah.